The warehouse erupts around them. Gunfire cracks the industrial air. Concrete pillars explode in showers of dust and debris. Sienna is pressed against cold metal, Marcus's body shielding hers, his hand on the back of her head. She can feel his heart pounding. She can feel him choosing to die for her if that's what it takes. "Stay down," he growls, and the way he says it like she's already his, like nothing in this world will change, that makes her realize something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. She came to him as a prisoner. She's going to leave him as something she can't even name yet. But first, they have to survive the next 3 minutes. This is how it started. Exactly 6 months earlier. A different kind of darkness. Sienna sits alone in the Boston Public Library at midnight, surrounded by leather-bound books on Renaissance art. The kind of girl who finds safety in pages instead of people. 23 years old with the weight of the world, nowhere near her shoulders. Yet, that's the dangerous thing about innocence. It doesn't know what's coming. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. But something inside her intuition, curse, gift, makes her pick up. "We know where you live," the voice says. Mail. Measured. Final. "Your father owes Vincent Russo $500,000. He has until Friday to pay." The library tilts. "If he doesn't, you'll understand what loss really means." The line goes dead. And right there, in that moment, Sienna's entire life changes direction. The problem is, she doesn't know it yet. She thinks she's still safe. She thinks she's still the girl with books and dreams. She hasn't realized that safety is a luxury item she can no longer afford. She doesn't call the police. She knows why without knowing she knows. The kind of operation that calls you personally at midnight doesn't fear a police report. They own the police report. Her father knows this. That's why when she confronts him in their modest apartment 3 hours later, he doesn't even try to lie. "I thought I could win it back," he says. He's sitting at their kitchen table, hands shaking around a cold cup of coffee. "I was going to double down, hit one good night, and everything would be fine." Sienna looks at her father and sees a stranger wearing his face. "How long?" she asks. 6 years. Maybe 7. I lost count. She's shaking now too. Not from fear, from anger, from the sudden, crushing realization that her father has been standing on the edge of a cliff for longer than she's been alive, and she never noticed because she was too busy reading about dead artists. "We have 4 days, she says. "What's your plan?" "I don't have one. The bank won't loan me that kind of money." "No one will." "I'm going to die, Sienna." Or worse. Worse. The word hangs between them like a blade. She pulls out her phone. Her hands know what to do, before her mind catches up. Gabriel picks up on the second ring. "It's midnight. Are you okay?" "I need your brother's number," she says. A pause. The kind of pause that changes things. "Sienna?" "No." "Now, Gabriel." "Please." She doesn't know Marcus Rinaldi. Not really. She's seen him 4 times her entire life. The first time, she was 16, and he came to dinner with Gabriel. He wore a charcoal suit and said almost nothing, but every adult in the room shifted when he entered. The second time, her father was there, and she noticed her father's face change. Fear. Respect. The worst combination. The third and fourth times blurred together into a composite image. Silver-streaked hair. Eyes that seemed to calculate the exact price of your life. A voice that didn't need to be loud to be dangerous. This is who she's calling at 12:47 a.m. This is Marcus. No greeting. Just his name. The way someone says their name, when they already know who's calling. "My name is Sienna Castellano. I need your help. I know who you are." Of course he does. And that's when Sienna understands the geometry of her situation. This man knows exactly who she is, where she lives, what her father owes, and why she's calling. He's been expecting her call for some time. "I'm coming to you," he says. 20 minutes. He's there in 12. The car pulls up to her apartment building, a black sedan that looks like violence learned to drive. Marcus emerges like he owns the street. He probably does. He wears a black coat and an expression of complete inevitability. When he looks at her, standing on the curb in her oversized sweater and running shorts. Something shifts in his face. Something almost unreadable. Get in. They drive through Boston's sleeping streets in silence. The city looks different at night. Harder. More honest. Like the daytime is just a beautiful lie everyone agrees to tell. Your father's debt, Marcus says finally, is actually $740,000, including interest and penalties. Russo stopped calculating kindness about 2 years ago. Can you make it go away? Yes. How much will it cost me? And here's where she thinks she understands the price of survival. She thinks he'll ask for money, for sexual favors, for something tangible and terrible and survivable. Instead, he says, 6 months of your life. She stares at him. I need a fiancée, he continues. Public. Committed. Real looking. 6 months is the timeline. After that, we have an amicable breakup, and you're free. Your father's debt disappears. Your family becomes untouchable. The cost is 6 months of pretending to love me. Sienna's entire body goes cold. If I refuse? Your father dies on Friday. You'll watch it happen. Or you won't, because you'll die first. He says it the way someone says the weather is nice. Factual. Inevitable. She believes him completely. I'll take your silence as acceptance, he says. He pulls over at her building, takes a ring from his jacket pocket, temporary, beautiful, exactly her size, and places it on her trembling finger. You're engaged now, he says. Pack a bag. Tomorrow morning, you're moving into my house. Tell your family whatever story you want. Tell them we're in love. Tell them you met me through Gabriel. They'll believe whatever you tell them because people believe what they need to believe. She looks at the ring. It catches the streetlight and throws diamonds across her skin. What if I tell someone what's really happening? She asks. Then everyone you love dies. Starting with Gabriel. I'll make sure you watch that part. He says it with no malice, just efficiency. The tone of someone discussing logistics. Do you understand? She does. Yes. She whispers. Good. Welcome to your new life, Sienna. Subscribe right now if you want to know what happens next, because the next 30 minutes completely changes everything about this situation. The Beacon Hill mansion isn't beautiful. It's a fortress wearing beauty as camouflage. 3 stories of expensive stone and darker history. Sienna pulls up in a car Marcus sent, and her suitcase feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. The estate manager is named Elena. She's polite and clinical in a way that makes Sienna feel like a inventory item. Your room is on the 2nd floor. You'll find fresh clothes in the wardrobe. Dinner is at 7. Sienna's guest room is larger than her apartment. The bed is pristine. The windows overlook Boston like she's a princess in a tower, except there's no prince coming to rescue her. The prince is the one who locked the door. She doesn't sleep. At 6 in the morning, she stands in the shower and lets the water hit her until her skin wrinkles. She thinks about her father. She thinks about how the price of saving him is losing herself. She thinks about how people make these calculations every day and live with it. Dinner is silent. Marcus sits at the head of a table that seems to stretch forever. He's dressed in a black sweater that makes his eyes look like steel. Sienna sits across from him, and the distance between them feels like an ocean. Your father won't be contacted again, he says. You'll move money to his account weekly, enough to fix his situation without raising flags. He'll think he's getting a fresh start. He'll be grateful. He won't ask questions about where it's coming from. What about Gabriel? Gabriel will know this is real but not know it's real. He'll know you're not telling him something. He'll hate that, but he'll accept it. Because you'll make him believe you're happy. Sienna looks at her untouched food. I'm going to be monitored constantly, Marcus continues. Your phone will track everything. You'll have a driver who reports to me. My office is off limits. You don't leave this property without permission. You don't contact anyone without my approval. You live here. You eat here. You sleep here. When we're in public, you touch me. You look at me. You behave like someone who's desperately in love. Can you do that? Do I have a choice? Not if you want your father alive. He stands. There's a jeweler coming tomorrow. Pick an engagement ring. Nothing cheap. You're going to wear it for 6 months, and it needs to be perfect. The ring is emerald-cut diamond on a platinum band. Sienna holds it under the light, and it throws colors across her skin like she's already bleeding. The jeweler is asking her questions about her fiancé, her wedding plans, the love story. She answers on automatic. Met him through a friend. It was fast but feels right. Very romantic. The jeweler is eating it up because people want desperately to believe in love. It's the most popular story humans tell themselves. 3 days later, there's a family dinner. Sienna's parents sit across from Marcus's family. Gabriel keeps glancing at her like he's trying to read an impossible language. The ring catches the light every time she reaches for water. Marcus tells a story about how they met at a gala. She was beautiful. He was persistent. He puts his hand on her back, and she has to work very hard not to flinch. "You're so perfect for him," Sienna's mother says, and she means it. The relief in her voice is a knife. Her daughter is happy, which means her husband's secret shame is also secret from her. After dinner, Gabriel corners Sienna in the hallway. "What the fuck is happening?" he asks. "I'm getting married. To my brother. Who you barely know. Who everyone in this city is terrified of." "That's not engagement, Sienna. That's surrender." She looks him in the eye. "I love him." The lie comes out smooth. Too smooth. Gabriel knows she's lying, but he also knows he can't prove it, so he just turns and walks away. That's the moment Sienna understands. The lie she's told is now the truth everyone believes, and somewhere in there, the line between performance and reality becomes invisible. The New England Aquarium Gala is where everything accelerates. Sienna wears a black dress that costs more than her car. Marcus wears a tuxedo that makes him look like death learned to dress up. When he takes her hand, it's the most natural thing in the world. The gala is crawling with power. Old money, new money, organized money. Sienna feels like she's inside a shark tank, except the sharks are dressed in Prada. Then Vincent Russo appears. He's nothing like Sienna expected. He's smaller than she thought, with kind eyes that hide everything underneath. He approaches Marcus with a smile that doesn't reach his face. "Congratulations," he says. "Beautiful fiancé. That's a lot of leverage you're carrying around." And Sienna understands, in that moment, exactly what she's become. Not a fiancé. A target. A vulnerability with a heartbeat. Marcus's hand tightens on her back. "She's mine," he says. "It's not romantic, it's a territorial marking." Russo laughs. "Careful with that kind of possession. It makes people desperate." Later, on a private balcony overlooking the Boston skyline, Sienna is shaking. Marcus finds her there. He doesn't apologize. He just stands next to her and says, "He's watching us. He wants to know if you're real or manufactured." So far, he thinks you're real. That's the only thing keeping you alive right now. Is that supposed to make me feel better? No. It's supposed to make you understand what I've done. I didn't just protect you. I made you mine. And now we have to see if that's the same thing. He reaches out and brushes her cheek. The contact is gentle. It's also devastating because somewhere in the last week, the touch she was terrified of has become the thing she's been waiting for. "Don't fall in love with me," he says. "Too late," she whispers. And she knows it's true the moment she says it. 5 days later, she can't pretend anymore. They're alone in his study. Expensive books line the walls. A fire burns in the fireplace. She's supposed to be reading something that looks important. Instead, she's watching him work, and she's realizing that she's fallen for the architecture of him, the way he thinks, the way he plans, the way he exists, without apology. "Stop," he says, not looking up. "Stop what? Looking at me like that." She doesn't move. "I'm serious, Sienna. This is dangerous. I don't care anymore." He puts down his pen. When he looks at her, it's like watching fire make a decision. "I've been wanting to do this since you were 17 years old. It's the main reason I've kept my distance." Then he's across the room, and he's kissing her. And it's not gentle or romantic. It's violent and claiming, and honest, in a way nothing in her life has ever been. She tastes whiskey and danger, and she understands that she's not being corrupted. She's being revealed. They don't make it to the bedroom. It's the couch first, then his office desk, Then finally, they move, because he wants to look at her completely, and she wants to let him. There's a moment where she tells him she's never done this before, and instead of treating her like glass, he treats her like something sacred. He moves slowly. He looks at her face the entire time like he's reading the most important book ever written. When it's over, she's crying, and she doesn't know why. "Don't do this," he whispers. "Don't fall in love with me. Please." But it's too late. The deal was 6 months of pretending. She's 1 week in, and she's not pretending anymore. Gabriel knows immediately. He finds them in the kitchen the next morning, and he watches Marcus kiss her forehead, and something in his face breaks. "I need to talk to you," he says to his brother. They fight in the hallway. Sienna hears fragments. Betrayal. Lies. The girl he loves being pulled into the worst version of Marcus's world. Marcus's voice. "She's not being pulled. She came willing." Gabriel's voice. "She came desperate." That's not the same as willing. When Marcus comes back into the room, something has shifted. Gabriel's hurt is sitting between them like a third person now. And Sienna realizes that love isn't simple, even when it's real. Especially when it's real. Then her father disappears. Marcus gets the call at midnight. Russo has him, the voice on the phone says. "Fort Point warehouse. He wants the file your girl's father was carrying. He'll trade your girl's father for it. Single exchange. No tricks." Marcus's face doesn't change, but his hand cracks the phone case. "Sienna's already moving. I'm coming with you." "No. You're staying here. My father is out there because of me. Because of us. I'm not sitting in this house." Gabriel appears in the doorway. She's right. We go. And that's when Marcus sees it. His brother is back. The betrayal burns away, and something else rises. Loyalty. Brotherhood. The kind of bond that only develops in families that survive together. They make it to her father's office downtown. Sienna knows exactly where the safe is. Behind the painting. The flash drive is there with everything. Financial records, shipping manifests, evidence that Russo's operation is worth billions and worth killing for. Then Russo calls. "You have what I want. Warehouse. 1 hour." Sienna holds the flash drive in her hand, and she understands the mathematics of power. She's holding something that means more than a human life. She's holding something that means more than her life. Marcus would die to protect her. She would die to protect her father. And Russo will kill both of them without blinking. The warehouse is industrial nightmare. Concrete floors. Metal beams. Darkness that swallows light. Russo is waiting with 6 men. Her father is zip-tied to a chair, beaten but alive. Marcus is on his knees, hands zip-tied, blood on his face. "The flash drive," Russo says. Sienna steps forward. Gabriel grabs her arm. "For my father," she says. Russo smiles. "Sure, kid. Give it to me, and I'll let everyone walk out." She knows it's a lie. Russo needs all of them dead. He needs the flash drive and the deaths to consolidate power. This is the moment where the deal gets paid in blood. Then everything explodes. Literally. Gabriel's people came in through the back. The first explosion takes out Russo's men before they even know they're under attack. The second one brings the structural support into question. The third one is just for chaos. Marcus is up. His hands are bleeding from the zip ties, but adrenaline has made him something beyond human. He fights through the smoke and gunfire, and he reaches Sienna, and he pulls her down and covers her body with his own. "Stay down," he growls. The gunfire is everywhere. Russo tries to run. Gabriel's people cut him off. There's a moment of violence so sudden and complete that Sienna's mind can't even process it properly. When she looks up, Vincent Russo isn't a threat anymore. He's just a problem that's been solved. Marcus is pulling her up. "Run." They're in the car, her father in the back with medical support, and they're racing away from the warehouse as a secondary collapse takes down half the building. Sienna looks at Marcus, and she sees the version of him she met that first night. The one who owns violence, who uses it like a tool, who is dangerous and terrible and absolutely devoted to protecting her. "You're okay," he keeps saying. "You're safe. You're safe." She's not thinking about the danger anymore. She's thinking about how this man is willing to burn down the world for her. and she's wondering if that's love or possession, and realizing it might be both. Like this video if you think they deserve happiness after this. Comment down below. Hero or villain? 1 week later, everything is different. Her father sits at their family table, and he's clean now. The debt is gone. The threat is eliminated. Russo's operation is in chaos without him, and the authorities are too busy sorting through the bodies to worry about one woman who found a flash drive. Gabriel is back. Not the hurt version, the forgiven version. The one who risked his life and understands now why his brother loves like he fights with total commitment to annihilation. Sienna's real engagement ring is different from the temporary one. This one, Marcus designed. This one comes with a promise that changes the original deal. 6 months is finished, he says. They're in his study, the same place where everything shifted from fake to real. The fire is burning. The deal is done, Sienna says. Yes, but I don't want you to leave. She knows this. The contract dissolved the moment he kissed her. The rest has just been paperwork of emotions that neither of them can control. I wasn't planning to, she says. 1 year later, the mansion doesn't feel like a fortress anymore. It feels like home. The kind of home that was built by someone who learned to love through violence, but loved anyway. Sienna wears a ring that matches his. They had a wedding private, permanent, real. Her father works legitimately now, building something instead of destroying it. Gabriel is at the dinner table, laughing about something that isn't scary anymore because the world isn't scary anymore. Not this part of it. Marcus hands her a key. What is this? She asks. My office. Everything in it. No more locked doors. She holds the key and understands what he's saying. I trust you completely. I surrender control. I choose you. She could have been a prisoner. Instead, she became a queen in a kingdom built from danger and devotion. This is the Boston Agreement. A story about what happens when you make a deal with the wrong person, and that person turns out to be exactly the right one. A story about how sometimes the most dangerous love is the only kind that saves you. If you made it this far, you already know. She didn't escape his world. She conquered it. And in doing so, she found freedom. Subscribe for more dark love stories that will keep you up all night. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. The Boston Agreement, coming to YouTube next week with the complete sequel. The end.